Hey, ladies, I am super excited to be here with you today because I am going to share with you how you can really empower yourself to make a shit ton of money in a relatively short amount of time. Cool? So here's the deal. My promise to you is that I'm going to show you the secrets my clients are using to attract ideal high-paying clients consistently so that you can double your income and your free time. So why should you? This is for you. My computer's already acting up. This is for you if you're a results-oriented coach, mentor, healer, or transformational leader who is fed up with not making the money that you know that you're capable of, right? It's also for you if you're done working yourself into exhaustion and you're no longer willing to tolerate wasting hours of your time speaking with unqualified prospects, because that is time that you can be spending taking better care of yourself, right? Or with your man or with your friends or with your kids or whatever it is that you want to do outside of your business, right? Okay. So why should you stick with me until the end? Because not only am I going to deliver content that will literally change your life and the way you do business, I'm also going to show you how to get handed a customized plan to collapse your monthly income into a week or sale. Cool? All right. So here's what you need to know. I curse if you couldn't tell by now. Okay? So my mission here today is to be as transparent with you as possible. And I can't do that. And I can't deliver, at my highest level if I have to monitor what I say and what I don't say. So I need the liberty to be all of who I am. So I hope you're cool with cursing and you don't have virgin ears. If you do, you know what to do, right? The second thing you need to know is I talk fast. So you're going to have to do your best to keep up with me. All right? And I don't do fluff. I like to get straight to the point of what you need to know. I truly respect your time. So I just like to give you what I've got, and let you get out there and start implementing. All right. So is that cool with you? If it is, plant your butt in your seat because I'm going to take you on a wild ride. Okay. So I do need your full undivided attention. If you are serious about getting the kind of results that you can truly feel proud of, then I want you to turn your cell phone off. Okay? I want you to turn Facebook off. I promise you the world will not stop spinning if you leave Facebook alone for an hour or so, right? And the things that you have to get done today, they will get done, or maybe someone else will do them for you. Imagine that. I know you're one of those type of people who do everything on your own, right? But things will get done, right? I really want you to take notes. I really want you to pay attention here because what you're about to discover in the next 60 minutes could change your life faster than you can renew your passport, okay? So why should you care about what I have to say? Listen, I know this is not your first rodeo. You have attended trainings before. You've been in business long enough that you know how these things work, right? And you've probably also attended some trainings that didn't give you what you needed to know, right? Or maybe you've invested in programs that didn't give you what you needed to know, right? So I totally get it. And I know that you're looking for someone you can trust. You're looking for someone who walks their talk, and that's what I do. All right, so I'm going to share with you what makes me different, and then you can decide whether or not, you agree, right? Because that's really what it is going to come down to, right? Okay, so first of all, I'm an Amazon bestselling author, and I've shared virtual stages with top experts in our industry. I've also been mentored by many of the top experts in our industry, okay? I run a multiple six-figure freedom-based business with a tiny team. This is important for you to know because so many of you believe that in order for you to achieve your, six-figure, your multiple six-figure, seven-figure goals, you need to have this massive team, and that is not the truth, all right? I run my business with myself, Lily. She's my adorable, she's looking at me. She's my adorable rescue mini pincher. She's not much help because she's over there on the couch, but she's adorable, okay? I also run my business from my laptop, and I have one very part-time assistant, okay? My average client goes from selling $5,000 programs to $10,000 and $20,000 programs consistently with while working less than 20 hours per week. So if you're working more than 20 hours a week right now, you're not seeing those kind of numbers in your business, you're going to want to pay attention, right? Also, many transformational leaders have doubled their fees and their cash flow from my free trainings alone. So imagine what you can learn here today and what you can take and start implementing in your business, okay? All right, so now I have achieved success in my life, and I'm very proud to say that this is where I am. But I'll be very honest with you, this has not been a cakewalk for me. All right. There was a time where I literally lost everything, or nearly lost everything. I didn't quite lose it all, but I was close. I remember being in my lowest low. I remember I was literally 28 days away from my house being sold at sheriff's sale. So it was already, into foreclosure status, which I had never been before, and I was mortified. And I was also frustrated, and I was angry with myself because I was used to succeeding. I had a 6 and 7 figure business before I became a coach, and I couldn't figure out why I hadn't made 6 figures in 6 months when I came online, right? I knew I could help people, but I wasn't getting the results that I needed to be getting. I wasn't getting the results that I knew I was capable of, right? And it was frustrating to me because no matter how hard I worked, nothing changed. I went broke maxing out my credit cards, investing in program after program, trying to learn all of these strategies, and trying to do all of this external stuff that wasn't getting me the results that I needed. So what did I do? I followed what all the gurus said, right? I did a guest interview series to build my list and my credibility. I was creating YouTube content, doing things completely outside of my zone of genius, trying to create all these videos and all this stuff because, I thought that's what I needed to do to, have people see me, right? How do I reach a bigger audience? That kind of stuff. I also was doing live streaming because everyone said live streaming was a way to get the kind of results that you're looking for. It's the way to sign clients. And although I had clients, I wasn't booking clients consistently. I was guest blogging, which I couldn't stand to do. I was wasting so much time and energy doing that and still not bringing in clients that could afford me consistently, right? And I was at this place where it was basically do or die, right? It was like either I figure this shit out or I'm going to not only lose my home, but also go out of business and watch my dreams die in front of my face. And I wasn't willing to have that, right? And as high achievers, we don't settle, right? We don't sit around and think that someone else is going to do it for us. We get ourselves to this place where we're like, I'm going to figure this out, right? So I had to do that. I had to take full responsibility for where I was in my life and in my business and just own it and get myself to that place where I had this whatever it takes attitude because I was not willing to fail. I decided that I owed it to myself. After so many years of struggle, I fucking owed it to myself to succeed. And I was not going to back down, right? So I love this quote by Oprah because it really describes kind of where I was. She says, with every experience, you alone are painting your own canvas, thought by thought, choice by choice. So I knew it was time to start making some different choices. And one of the choices that I made was to stop doing it by myself, stop trying to be Superwoman, right? And actually get the support that I needed. Because many of us are not, we're not, I don't want to say willing to receive, but many of us, well, that is part of it, actually. Many of us don't know how to really receive, right? And we also don't know how to ask for support because we sometimes tend to think that makes us weak, right? Or we're like, we don't know what we're doing and we should know better because we help our clients with this. So how come we're not, getting the kind of results? Like all that kind of stuff was going through my mind. And also the fact that I had tried to get support in the past and I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. So I had all of those excuses, if you will, or rationalizations as to why I could, figure it out on my own, but I wasn't. That was the reality. The reality was I was in the situation that I was in because I couldn't figure it out on my own. We don't know what we don't know, right? So once I resolved that I was going to do whatever it took, I got the support that I needed, right? And I was able to not only save my home, but I now get to do all kinds of fun things, like travel, which is something that I couldn't do before because I didn't have the financial resources and I didn't have the peace of mind that I was going to attract clients consistently. So what you see right here is pictures of me on my recent trip where I spent 6 weeks traveling the Amalfi Coast, the Italian Riviera, the French Riviera. I was in Barcelona, and I was literally having the time of my life, okay? And what I'm going to share with you today is what I've done in my business to get me to this place. I'm going to share with you today exactly what took me from being broke, okay, to making $34,000 in 30 days, then going on to $50,000 months, and most recently collapsing my monthly income into a 70K week. All right, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that later on in the training. Okay. So right now you might be thinking to yourself, hey, this is awesome, Desiree, but is this actually doable for me? Right? Because I don't know exactly where you are in your business, but I would imagine you're not where you want to be, which is why you're on this training today, right? So if you're wondering if it's doable for you, here's what I can tell you. I can tell you that I know that what you'll learn today can work for anyone who has the ambition to follow through. All right. Here's one of my former clients who had that level of ambition. Okay. She's a client that I took from $0 to $10,000 cash in 30 days without a list, without doing launches or paid advertisements. Okay. And she did it only signing 2 clients. All right. So what does that tell you? All right. If she can do that starting from 0, and I'm sure you're not at 0, right? If she can do that starting from 0, what do you think is possible for you? The answer should be anything, right? Okay. So here's what you need to know. Results are not typical. Okay. I am happy to share with you for free exactly what's working for my clients and me right now. But I need you to understand that the average person who attends any training gets 0 results because they don't implement what they learn. However, I have a suspicion that you are not average. I don't typically attract average people. I attract high achievers, overachievers, in fact, right? So I have a suspicion that you will get results if you apply what you learn here today, okay? Now, this is not for you if you're into get rich quick, right? We're going to be talking about how you can make a lot more money in a relatively short amount of time. However, you have to know that there's going to be work required, right? You're not going to make money overnight without doing something. So it's not about getting rich quick. It's also not for you if you are looking for a work at home or business opportunity or you're into MLM, right? It's also not going to be for you if you are a daydreamer. So you're someone who has the desire or the idea of making $100,000 or $200,000 a month or whatever the number is for you, right? But you have no intention of doing the work, right? Like you have no intention of getting your hands dirty, of moving your feet, like any of that kind of stuff that would actually create results, then guess what? It's not going to work for you, right? This is, however, for you if you are a powerhouse coach, mentor, healer, basically anyone who is in the business of transformation. Those are the type of people that I serve, okay? If that is you and you are ready to make more without burning yourself out, you are in the right spot, okay? So here's what we're going to cover. You're going to learn why you're still tolerating inconsistent cash flow, okay? No matter how hard you work. And the one thing you need to shift in order to make the kind of money that will leave your peers' mouths wide open. All right. You're also going to learn how my clients collapse their monthly income into a week or sale and experience real freedom while helping their clients get amazing results faster. This is for you if you are sick and tired of banging your head against 5 to 20K months. All right. You're also going to learn how to stop attracting I can't afford it prospects and start magnetizing your I'm ready now, can I pay in full ideal clients in less than 60 minutes per day. This is the strategy that delivered $70,000 for me in 3 days. I know I said a week, but it was really 3 days. Okay. So that's what we're going to cover today. So let's get straight into it. All right. Why you're still tolerating inconsistent cash flow no matter how hard you work, and the one thing you need to shift to make the kind of money that will leave your peers' mouths wide open. All right. So let me ask you this. Are you tired of riding the money roller coaster? So perhaps you've made a big sale before and then you've gone dry for weeks or months at a time. That used to happen to me. So I'd make a big sale and then I couldn't repeat it. It literally would be weeks or months before the next sale would come in. So what do you think that created? A sense of anxiety and stress and worry and all that kind of jazz, right? Maybe you're fed up with making just enough to cover your expenses. So maybe the 5K you're making or the 10K you're making or the 20K you're making right now is enough to cover your expenses and pay you a salary, but it's not enough to do the other things that you want to do in your life, right? Perhaps you have a steady income, right? And you're always getting hit with unexpected bills. So maybe you make more than just enough, but then you get hit with this unexpected bill. And then what does that do? It brings you back down to just enough, right? Okay. Or perhaps you struggle with clients who can't or won't pay mid-contract. So they sign up, they pay the deposit, you start working with them, and then some financial catastrophe happens for them and they're not able to continue to pay you, or maybe they just won't pay you, right? I've been where you are, so let me tell you what I know. I know it is a big problem for you because it erodes your confidence and it undermines your ability to make the kind of money you know you are capable of by now. I know you. I know you've been doing your stuff for a long, long time. And I know that you should be making a hell of a lot more money than you are, right? Okay. When you're in this place, when you're riding this money roller coaster, it also keeps you in a fear-based place of signing the type of clients that you know you've already outgrown just to cover your expenses. I cannot tell you how many clients come to me in this place. You know, they have this desire to work with a higher level client, but yet they're still signing the clients that they've outgrown, the clients that they know they are no longer a fit for, right? Because they don't know how to make that full transition. Meanwhile, the travel, the passionate relationship, right? So maybe you're in a relationship right now, but it's devoid of passion because what? You're always focused on your business, or maybe you don't even have time to think about starting a relationship because you're always focused on your business or focused on where the next sale is going to come from, right? And the freedom that you really desire, all of that is still on hold, right? It's all still on hold. So what have you tried, right? Because I know you're not someone who's going to sit around twiddling your thumbs, right? You're someone who's going to get out there and take action. So what have you tried? You've probably tried investing in those turn your nose into yeses sales trainings. And guess what? You're thinking along the right lines. If your cash flow is inconsistent, you're thinking, oh, well, I need to, up my sales process. And I'll be honest with you, that's probably something that you need to take a look at. However, until you address the real issue, which I'm going to reveal to you in a few moments, trying to work on your sales process is not going to solve the problem because everything is connected. All right. When you address the real issue, by default, you will be closing more sales. Okay. Maybe you've tried hopping from platform to platform, trying to reach a new or bigger audience, right? So maybe you're starting to feel like my clients aren't on Facebook, right? Most of my clients come and tell me that, and I'm like, yeah, that's not true, right? You just need to make a couple of shifts, and then all of a sudden, the clients show up within the same groups that they're already in, by the way, okay? So maybe you're starting to think that. Maybe you're starting to think, all right, my clients are not on Facebook, so maybe you've tried LinkedIn, or maybe you've tried Instagram, or maybe you've tried Twitter, and guess what? Your results aren't changing. Your cash flow is still inconsistent, right? So does it make sense to try to reach a new or bigger audience? Of course it does. But again, until you address the real issue, it's not going to change your results, okay? Perhaps you've tried, I think everyone has tried this, right? The lifestyle photo shoots in Paris, upgrading your website. Maybe you've written a book to boost your credibility, right? Almost all of my clients have done all these things, and they still hire me because their cash flow is what? Inconsistent, right? Because again, this is not the answer to your problem. It's not, okay? Perhaps you've tried implementing every single lead generation strategy out there. Whatever's out there, you name it, you've tried it, right? But again, you're still dealing with the same issue, right? Now, I'm going to tell you later on in today's training, the one strategy that is superior to all. So the one lead generation or marketing strategy that is superior to all of the ones that you've tried. I'll share that with you later, because right now, what I want to talk to you about is why all of the things that you've tried so far cannot work for you long term, right? So they work sometimes, but you're not getting consistent results. So they're not working for you long term because you need to address the real problem. And here's what it is. It is your fear of standing fully in your power. I really want you to take that in, because as women, we are typically shamed out of doing that. Men are congratulated. They are supported. They are encouraged to stand in their power. But as women, we are not. As women, we're conditioned to be nice, to be appropriate, to be people pleasers. Okay? In other words, your higher consciousness, that part of you, that side of you that knows exactly how to generate the precise amount of cash you desire, is repressed. Okay? And I can tell you that I notice this happens mostly with the really powerful women, right? The really direct, no fluff, no holds barred, ballsy women, we're the ones who struggle with this the most because we have been wounded, right? We've been taught that it's not okay to want what we want. It's not okay for us to have what we desire because we're greedy or we're selfish or we're something or we're too much or we're too strong or we're too independent, right? And so that creates this sense of fear that when you fully stand in your power, right, that it's not safe. I mean, I've had clients tell me that they physically did not feel safe standing in their power until we worked together, right? So you have to understand this. Because when you're fully standing in your power, you are in your higher consciousness, right? And when you're in your higher consciousness, you know exactly what to do to get the kind of results that you know you're capable of, all right? I will give you an example. Most of the sales programs, the marketing, and the copywriting training that you have taken have been designed to tame you into being who you think you need to be to sell, instead of empowering you to make money by being true to who you really are. You are naturally a gifted salesperson. Naturally. You are naturally a good marketer. You're naturally creative, right? You naturally know how to command cash. But it's been repressed. It's been suppressed. You've been taught not to be that person who can naturally generate the results that you desire, right? And this is why you keep thinking, feeling, and acting from your lower consciousness, the domesticated version of yourself that created your pattern of inconsistent cash flow, right? Because when you are vacillating between your higher and your lower consciousnesses, or consciousness, I don't know. You get what I'm saying, right? When you're vacillating, your results look confused. This is why you see the inconsistent cash flow, right? And this is why working harder is not going to solve the problem. So here's what I mean. You have the conscious desire to make whatever the number is for you, right? Which is what's gotten you to whatever income level you're at. And let's use making sales and then not being able to repeat them for a couple weeks at a time. Let's use that as an example, right? So your higher consciousness is what got you to that big sale. But then your lower consciousness, the one that thinks it's not safe to be there, the one that thinks you need to keep pace with the people around you, right? It will do whatever it can to bring you back down to a level that is safe, back down to a level that, no longer intimidates anyone, right? No longer puts you in a position of feeling ashamed or guilty of your success. It'll bring you right back down, right? But your higher consciousness got you to that level of success. Your lower consciousness brings you down. So if you vacillate between the two, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, that's when you'll see the money come in and then it will stop. The money will come in and then it will stop, right? You want to break that pattern, okay? You want to break that pattern. And I can tell you, working harder will not fix it. It won't. Because until you break the pattern, you will continue to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? All right, so once you stand fully in your power and embody your higher consciousness, you will command cash week after week with predictability because you no longer have that shame, you no longer have that guilt bringing you back down, right? You will also start to relate to yourself as the woman you were born to be now. So not someday off in the future, right? Not someday when you finally make 250K or when you finally make 500 or when you finally make $1 million, right? But now you'll start thinking, you'll start feeling, and you will start acting as that woman today. That is the faster and simpler way than spending years in therapy, doing healing work, or hunting down every single limiting belief you've ever had. That's the fastest way to get the results that you're looking for and to maintain them, to have it be sustainable for you, to be able to actually scale without that back and forth, rubber band shit, right? Or feeling like you're riding that money roller coaster. This is the real work that delivers results for my clients in a matter of days and weeks, right? That's the real work. And I say that because so many of you, I get it because I was there myself. You focus on all the implementation stuff, all the external things that you think you need in order to get results. And as you can see, that has not been delivering the consistent results that you desire. The shift has to be made internally first, all right? I have a client who made the shift, right? She stopped vacillating between her lower and her higher consciousness. Her lower consciousness she referred to as her scared little girl, and her higher consciousness was the rich bitch, right? Um, that was those were her descriptions of her lower and her higher consciousness, right? And we had to get her to fully embody the rich bitch consciousness, right? Because that was the woman that she wanted to be, but she was denying for so long, right? Because when she hired me, she was completely frustrated with watching her peers post about their 20K, 30K, 50K, and all those kind of months, right? And she knew that she should be getting those results for herself because she had clients who were getting some of those results, right? But she couldn't figure out why she also still was dealing with clients who couldn't or wouldn't pay her mid-contract, and why her cash flow was so inconsistent. And she was frustrated, beyond frustrated, I would say, with working herself into exhaustion just to pay the bills. All right. She had no time for travel. She had no time to even date. Right. Now, I want you to see what transpired for her within the first 30 days of us working together. She doubled her cash flow in 30 days. Okay. A week later, she celebrated a $17,500 day while she was on vacation. So obviously she wasn't working very hard. You can see I underlined in red how she said they were both so easy, both of the sales that she made, right? And she's now on track for $20,000 cash this month and dating successful men. And I wanted to share her story with you because it shows the consistent progression of her results. Once she stopped vacillating between her scared little girl and her rich bitch consciousness, right? And it can be whatever it is that you decide it to be. You name them whatever they are for you. For a long time, you know, my lower consciousness I named Little D for Desiree, and my higher consciousness was named Big D, but I've shifted. Now my lower consciousness is called Middle Class D, and my higher consciousness is called Millionaire D, right? Because I am aware that I have to be in my higher consciousness in order to get the results that I desire consistently. And that's part of what, you know, transpired that generated the $70,000 in 3 days for me, which I'll share with you a little bit later. Okay. So I want you to see this because I want you to understand this. I don't want this to be something that you're like, you kind of get it, but you don't really get it. I really need you to understand this because this will literally change your life. This is the secret that allows you to command cash or whatever else it is that you desire on demand. All right. So you can see that when you're fully standing in your power, you will consistently make the kind of money that will leave your peers' mouths wide open. Can't you? Okay. All right. So can you imagine what that would mean to your bottom line? What would it mean to your confidence? What would it mean to your peace of mind? Right? Okay, excuse me. I just had to take a sip of water. All right, so how my clients collapse their monthly income into a week or sale and experience real freedom while helping their clients get amazing results. So this is for you if you're tired of banging your head against 5 to 20K months. So now I'm going to talk to you about how, we get you to the place of commanding more cash, right? In terms of your programs. So is this you? Do you feel mentally and emotionally exhausted by your business, right? I know you do. I know you do. Are your programs selling, but you're not feeling fulfilled by your work? Maybe you've gained weight or maybe you've lost weight, right? Maybe you're stressed or your energy is extremely low. So that passion that you used to have for your business is not there anymore, right? It's kind of like, it feels like a ball and chain. It feels like a job, right? Perhaps your man is bitter because when you make time for him, you're not fully present, or maybe you don't even have time to date, right? Maybe you're not seeing anyone because you don't even have the time for yourself, let alone to date anyone, right? Or perhaps your friends feel like strangers. You and I both know that if you don't fix this soon, right, you're either going to burn yourself out or end up alone. And I know that's a hard truth. And I don't know how else to say it to you other than just to give it to you straight, right? Because you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware that if you don't change this, you will burn yourself out or you're going to end up alone. And what's the point of achieving the success that you're after if you're too tired to enjoy it or you have no one to share it with, right? Now, here's the thing. Your clients, excuse the typo there, your clients also suffer because you cannot do your best work with them when you're exhausted, right? So if you are not careful, you have to be very aware of this. If you're not careful, this can damage your reputation in the long run. Because if you can't properly lead your clients, if you can't serve them from your highest level because you're burnt out or you're stressed out, right? What is that going to do, right? Obviously, your clients are not going to get their best results, which means they're not going to renew with you. They're not going to send you referrals. And what is this going to do to your reputation, right? You really got to think about what is at stake here, right? So what have you tried? Perhaps you've tried raising your one-on-one fees, right? I think probably 99% of my clients have come to me after they've tried to raise their one-on-one fees and then they've lowered them again, right? Because most of them are not doing it the right way anyway. Most of them are raising their one-on-one fees, but then they're extending the length of their program. So it's not really changing their fee much, right? So if you've tried that, you know what I mean, right? Okay. Perhaps you've offered monthly membership programs or group programs, right? And they're typically going to be on the lower end side, but still not, allowing you to meet your financial goals, right? Maybe you've tried offering low-end masterminds. So anything under $10,000 for a mastermind, to me is a little bit on the lower end, right? So maybe you've tried doing all that. And here's the thing. It takes just as much time and energy to enroll someone into a low-end program as it does to enroll someone into a 5 or 10 or 20 or 50K program, right? So you need to know that. You need to know that, okay? All right. So none of the strategies that we just talked about are sustainable unless you're selling what you were born to do, not just what you think will sell, right? This is critical. I can't tell you how many people are, making decent money, maybe they're making 6 figures or multiple 6 figures or whatever the case may be, sometimes even 7 figures, but they're not feeling fulfilled because they're not selling what they were born to do, right? I've had many clients come to me in this place. They're selling what they think will sell, right? They're selling what their past coach or mentor told them would sell, but they're not fully aligned with it because they know that there's more that they want to be doing in the world and they're not, right? You also need to make sure that you are selling to the people you were born to serve, okay? There are specific people who are going to get the best results because they have worked with you, right? So where other programs have failed them, once they come to work with you, they will take off like a rocket. You have to know who those people are. So client selection is essential. It's essential to your success. It is essential to your client success and your sanity, right? How many times have you signed a client and you knew they were not the right fit, or you knew that they were the type of client that you have already outgrown, right? It's like pulling teeth to get them to get results, right? That's going to drain you mentally and emotionally. It's time to stop that. It's time to stop that. You also need to make sure that your service delivery model is aligned with your desired lifestyle, right? You want your man and your millions, yes? Okay. So yeah, make sure that whatever program you put together is designed, to align with the lifestyle that you want. You have to really think about this. Whether you're working with people one-on-one or you're working with them in a mastermind or you're working with them in a short-term group, right? However long your program is, that's a chunk of your life. A chunk of your life that you're investing there, right? So you better make sure that if it's a 90-day program, that's aligned with your desired lifestyle. If it's a 6-month, if it's a 12-month program, whatever it is, if it's, a VIP day, whatever it is, it has to be aligned with your desired lifestyle, okay? All right, so I'm going to break this down into 3 steps in terms of how can you collapse your monthly income into a weekly sale, right? So the first step is that you need to know your numbers. Now, this may sound basic, but it's foundational. And I will tell you that most entrepreneurs are so caught up in the day-to-day that they do not take the time to do this. And they end up trying to work their businesses backwards. What we want to do is reverse engineer. I want to know, what is your goal? How much do you want to make in the next 12 months? Start from that place and then reverse engineer how you're going to make that happen, right? So what is your goal? What do you want to make in the next 12 months? Is it 100K? Is it 250K? Is it 500K? Is it a million? Whatever that number is, write it down, okay? Second thing is, how many clients do you need at your current rates to achieve your goal, right? So whatever your current rates are, divide that into your goal, and that'll tell you how many clients you need, right? If you have multiple programs, then you want to add them all up, divide, get the average, and then divide that into your financial goal. If you have multiple programs and only one is really selling, then just take that one that's really selling and divide that, and that will give you the number of clients, okay? This is important stuff, right? This is important stuff. The second or the last thing is, let's look at how many hours you're working to make what you're making right now, right? Was that paying you? Like, does that feel good or not, right? I can tell you this, if you don't like your current numbers, if you don't like the numbers that you've written down, the fastest and easiest solution is to charge more, right? It's just to charge more. It's to make more money from fewer sales, okay? This is how you're going to get to your goal without burning yourself out. I can tell you that if you're looking at the numbers that are on your paper right now and it doesn't feel doable, that's one of the reasons why you haven't achieved your goal, right? How many clients do you think you need at your current rates to get to your goal without burning yourself out, right? Okay. So the second step is really about owning your value, right? And I'm going to break this down for you. Here's what I mean. Number one, you need to be able to identify your unique combination of gifts, skills, and talents. Okay, I like to call this the thing you were born to do, and the specific burning problem that it solves. This is massively important. You and you alone have a unique combination of gifts, skills, and talents that solve a particular problem. You got to know what that is, right? This is also, knowing this, by the way, is also how you decommoditize yourself. So you don't have to compete with anybody else in the marketplace. So no one can shop you. No one can compare you to anyone else, because no one else can deliver what you can deliver the way you can deliver it, right? You have to know that, and you have to own that, because if you don't own that, it's one of the reasons you are not charging what you know your services are worth, right? Okay. You also need to get clear on your ideal client. So again, these are the folks that you were born to serve, okay? These are also the folks that are the most fun for you to work with and will get the best results because they've worked with you. You've got to know who those people are. So essentially, what are we talking about here? We're talking about working exclusively with your higher level client. That means you have to be brave enough when you get an application from someone who is not your ideal client that you reject that application. That's what that means. That's what it means. It means you have to stop negotiating with your fears whenever you're worried about money or where your next sale is going to come from. That's what that means. It means you're going to have to set a certain client criteria that you do not deviate from. That is what that means. Okay? And last but not least, you want to design your program to deliver results faster and easier than your clients could get on their own. That's pretty much a given, right? Why would they hire you if they could get the results faster? Okay. However, you need to make sure that you are basing the price of your program on the value of the transformation that you facilitate, not arbitrary factors like time or effort, right? This is where many of you will get tripped up, right? Many of you will want to charge, 5, 10, 20, whatever the number is, but then you'll feel guilty for charging that amount because the time that you put in isn't a lot, right? But I can tell you this, your clients don't give a damn how long it takes. In fact, they want the results faster. If you can help your clients get results in 5 minutes, then get them results in 5 minutes. Do not take 5 days, 5 weeks, or 5 months because you feel like you need to justify your fee, right? A doctor wouldn't do that. A doctor wouldn't, stretch out their treatment because they don't feel worthy of their fee. Neither should you. And when your program is designed based on your unique combination of gifts, skills, and talents, my friend, that is your superpower. So that means by default, you will be helping your clients get results faster and easier than they could do on their own, right? And it will not take you a tremendous amount of time. So stop dragging your programs out. Stop doing that. It's not serving you and it's not serving your clients, right? I have a client that I recently signed, brilliant woman, like really brilliant. And we just recently took her program from $5,000 for 6 months down to $15,000 for 2 months. Why? Because after we went through this process, she realized what she was doing, right? She realized how she was undervaluing herself. And actually, doing a disservice to her clients because they didn't need 6 months to get the results. They could get them in 2, right? So the third step here is to keep it simple, all right? Stop trying to like muddy the waters here. And I get it because I've done this myself. This is why I totally understand where you are. But listen, you only need 1 or 2 offers to get to $1 million, right? You only need 1 or 2. We're going to talk about the marketing behind this in just a moment, but just understand the numbers here, right? If you're selling a $5,000 program, you only need 200 sales. And I say sales because this means that you can be re-enrolling clients, right? When you're serving from your best, what does that mean? And you're working with your ideal clients, it means they're going to get the best results because they work with you, and that means they're going to want to renew, right? And they're going to also send you referrals. So we're talking about sales here, right? Not necessarily running out and trying to find a shit ton of clients. You only need 100 sales at $10,000 to hit $1 million, or 50 sales at $20,000. Imagine if you were charging more, right? Okay. So can you picture yourself achieving your goals faster and easier if you were charging $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 or more? Of course you can, right? Okay. So here's one of my clients who was already at 6 figures when she hired me, but she got there the slow and hard way. She was doing launches. She was putting people into a lower end group program. She did have a couple of higher end clients, but she actually ended up lowering her fee because the program that she was selling was mostly focused on implementation, and it wasn't incorporating all of her gifts, skills, and talents like we've talked about, right? So not only was she not fulfilled, but her clients also were not getting the results that she knew that they were capable of, all right? And what did that do? That created doubts for her. And that's why she ended up lowering her fees. And by the time she hired me, she was extremely frustrated with herself and she felt lost, okay? So you can see within a matter of weeks, we redesigned her business model and she collapsed her monthly income into 10K sales, all right? She now works less than 20 hours per week and has plenty of time to serve her clients better, right? Because now she has the time. She's not wasting time doing all the launches and all the other kind of stuff that she was doing that was literally exhausting her, wiping her out, okay? Within 6 weeks, she more than doubled her cash flow and she's on track for multiple 6 figures, right? So you can see that collapsing your monthly income into a week or sale is simple, isn't it? Awesome. So what would that mean to your freedom? What would it mean to your fulfillment? All right. Now we're in for the home stretch here. How to stop attracting I can't afford it prospects and start magnetizing your I'm ready now, can I pay in full ideal clients in less than 60 minutes per day. 1 second. There's another sip of water. Okay, so are you still tolerating this? Picture perfect discovery sessions that take a wrong turn with I'd love to, but, or prospects who say yes and then disappear when it's time to sign the contract. or potential clients who convince you that they need to speak with their husband, their wife, their dog, or their angels before they make a decision. Now, you have to know that that's not the truth, don't you? Right? You have to know that they don't really need to speak with someone else, right? That's just their pattern of disempowerment that you want to help them move through on your sales conversation, right? But we'll get to that later. Perhaps you're also still tolerating people who like your content but can't afford to buy from you, right? Okay. This is a problem because you're wasting hours of your time on the phone with unqualified prospects, which undermines your confidence, right? What do you think that does to your ability to sell when you're talking to, people who are just not the right fit, right? They're not ready to move forward. They don't have the whatever it takes attitude. They don't fit your ideal client profile, right? But you're wasting all of your time talking to them. What do you think that does to your confidence and your ability to sell to the right people? It also means your ideal clients are getting inferior service from your competitors. Remember what we said about your ideal people, right? They will get the best results because they've worked with you, which means that if they are your ideal client, no one else can serve them at the level that you can serve them. So any service that they get from anyone else is inferior to yours. Make sense? You also probably feel like your head will explode if you see one more of your peers post about their 30K, 50K, or whatever K months. And this is not because you're jealous, right? This is because you know that you should be there by now, right? With your years of experience, with your level of expertise, you know that you should be there by now, right? So what have you tried? You've probably tried live streaming day in and day out. Maybe you've done dozens of webinars, and trust me, I know this one because I love webinars today because they convert for me. But there was a time when I would do webinar after webinar and nothing, crickets. I would deliver my heart out. I would give the most amazing content and nothing. All right. So if that's what you're experiencing right now, I can tell you, you can change. All right. Maybe you've literally blogged your brains out. Right? So maybe you're blogging on your own site, or maybe you're blogging on, someone else's site. You're doing guest blogging, right? But it's still not generating the amount of leads that you need or the amount of sales that you need, right? Or perhaps you've poured money down the drain with Facebook ads that didn't convert, right? So maybe you got leads, but then they didn't convert to sales, okay? I've been down that road. Many people have been down that road. I trust me. But I will show you what makes the difference, all right? Because here's the deal. Any one of those strategies can work for you. All of those strategies work for me today when they didn't before, all right? But they will only make you what I call a likable educator, as in someone who gets the likes and the comments with little conversions, unless you address the real issue. And that is your positioning, also known as the perception your ideal client has of you in their mind, all right? Because right now, your prospects are overwhelmed, okay? They are bombarded by content from gurus and other coaches who are competing for their attention, okay? That means that the folks that you were born to serve will likely end up buying from them if they continue to see you as just another likable educator, right? So you're just like everyone else right now if you do not have positioning in place, the right positioning in place. So this is what you need to do. You need to be perceived as the authority that they have to work with no matter the price. I call this powerhouse positioning, right? So this is when your marketing positions you as the authority for your ideal clients. And you do in your marketing what needs to be done that makes them have the desire to work with you no matter the price. The first time I heard a prospect or a client say that to me in a breakthrough session, I was like, I finally got it, right? Finally, you know what I mean? What I'm doing is working, because that's where she was at. She was like, I would have paid you anything, right? This is what you want your marketing to do for you. And the only way that it's going to do that for you is when you have powerhouse positioning in play, okay? Because merely producing more content only contributes to the noise in the marketplace, right? And let's be frank, it's going to burn you out. If you keep posting 3 to 5 times a day, right? If you keep doing all those live streams, If you keep pulling your hair out trying to figure out what do you need to post, right now, and then going into groups and trying to socialize and doing all these other things and networking and everything that you're doing, it's just going to burn you out, right? Instead of trying to compete with everyone else, right? Your focus needs to be on positioning yourself as the best choice. That is the one strategy that is superior to all. So remember when I told you in the beginning of the training that I was going to share with you, the one marketing strategy that is superior to everything else you've been doing? This is it. Positioning. Powerhouse positioning, to be more specific. All right? Because when you get this right, webinars, live streams, written posts, any marketing tool that you use will convert for you with predictability, right? So what I'm saying here is it's not the tools that bring you the results. So it's not, you can refer to these as tools or tactics or what have you. It's not the webinars, it's not the live streams, it's not the written posts that bring you the results. It is the positioning that delivers the results. And this is important for you to know because there's so many people out there, telling you that you have to do live streams to bring in clients consistently, or you have to do webinars to bring in clients consistently, or you have to do written posts, but that's not the truth. It's not the truth. And I know it's not the truth. I'm going to show you in a second how I can prove it with my own results, but my clients also. I have clients who exclusively do live streams. I have clients who exclusively do webinars. I have clients who exclusively do written posts. This doesn't mean that they don't sometimes do some of the other different tactics, but they have one primary marketing tool that they prefer. This gives you the control here, right? But their positioning is what allows them to convert, okay? Now, when you get this right, when you have the powerhouse positioning working for you, even this simple 60-minute per day plan can double your income, all right? Because this is what actually delivered the $70,000 for me in 3 days, all right? So here it is. Super simple. I did 3 posts, and this is proof. This is proof that any tool will work for you, right? Because I did 3 posts, 1 per day. I did 1 live stream, which was 20 minutes, and I also did 1 webinar, and I ran a small campaign, right? Typically, that's what I do. I run really small campaigns. I don't spend thousands of dollars in ads, all right? Most of my clients, by the way, aren't spending a dime in ads. They're getting leads for free, okay? And they're seeing, 5 and multiple 5-figure months. So here's the deal. If you do not have tens of thousands of dollars to spend on ads or weeks or months to nurture leads, then powerhouse positioning is your secret weapon for turning leads into clients within days. So I'm talking about 24 to 72 hours if you like, right? Okay. So how do you make powerhouse positioning work for you? Well, here's the thing. Your marketing must answer why you. So this is how you replace 3 posts per day or 5 live streams per week with 1. Okay, you got to be answering why you in all of your marketing. Okay, you also need to know how to trigger desire so your ideal clients feel compelled to take action now. All right, so the hint here is don't just teach them, reach them. So what I mean by this is everyone in this marketplace is trying to position themselves as an authority by putting out content, right? But most of that content is just information based. It's not reaching people. It is not moving people. It is not triggering them to take action. You have to realize that your clients have been in pain for months, more like years, okay? So they've tried to do things to get a result, and more than likely it has failed them. So you're going to be running into people who are afraid of trying something again. Right? They may even have a sense of apathy. They want the change, but they're not really sure that, anything will help them at this point, right? So you have to know that, and you have to be able to trigger their desire to act in spite of that, all right? So you need to be able to reach them. When I say reach them, I mean move them, okay? And you also need to know how to handle their objections before they ever get on the phone with you, right? So what must they believe about themselves, your offer, and you? You have to know that, right? Because you want them to be selling themselves into your programs, don't you? Right? You want them to say yes on the spot. You don't want to have to drag them. You don't want to have to convince them. You don't want to have to follow up with them, right? Because how will they show up in the program if you have to drag them or convince them to sign up with you, right? They're not going to show up as on fire as you need them to be in order for them to get the kind of results that you know that they're capable of, right? So you need to understand this. Now, here's an example of powerhouse positioning working for me when it comes to lead generation with paid ads, all right? So remember I told you before that I was running webinars and they, weren't really converting, and I was spending thousands of dollars in Facebook ads and nothing, right? I would get leads, but I wasn't getting the conversion, so I was just kind of throwing money away. So powerhouse positioning took my average cost per lead from $6 down to around $2.44. That's just the average of the numbers that you see there. And there have been times when it's been much lower than this, where it's just been over $1, okay? I also took my cost per application down from $50. Industry standard is usually like $50 to $60, down to $33, okay? And if you can compare that to something, that's like, what you can get for $33, right? Like a good pedicure or something, right? Now you can turn these applications, if you can even turn 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 is more like it, right? Into a 5 or multiple 5-figure client, you'd do this all day long, wouldn't you? There are other people out there, other quote unquote experts in this space, who are bringing in applications for $100, okay? And converting programs lower than $5,000. I'm sorry, lower than 5 figures, all right? So just to give you some comparison there. But listen, to be quite frank with you, leads are what? They don't really mean anything, right? Unless you can actually convert them. So what I want to show you here is that these are quality leads that actually converted, right? So I've spent $750 in ads so far this month and generated $25,000 in sales from them, okay? And that's a 3,200, is that right? 3,200% ROI? Yes, 3,200% ROI, right? Return on investment. If you knew you can get a return on investment at this level, right? You do this all day long, nonstop. And remember, I have plenty of clients who are getting similar results and they're not spending a dime in ads. So just so you know, you can do this organically, or you can do this with a little bit support from paid marketing, right? Okay. So you now understand how the right positioning can deliver better results with less effort, don't you? Okay. So what could you do with all the free time that you're no longer wasting on the phone with unqualified prospects, right? So you're no longer, accepting applications and speaking to people who are not the right fit. What would you do with that time, right? Would you learn how to sing or paint or dance? Would you spend more time with your man? Would you spend more time with your kids? Would you travel? Right? What would you do? Okay. So here's what we've covered so far. You now know that fully standing in your power, also known as embodying your higher consciousness, is the key to consistent cash flow that will leave your peers' mouths wide open, right? You've also discovered the 3 simple steps you can use to collapse your monthly income into a week or sale. And you understand why powerhouse positioning is what you need to magnetize your I'm ready now, can I pay in full ideal clients in less than 60 minutes a day, right? Okay, so you may be thinking to yourself right now, well, what's next, right? What is the next step, right? And the answer is it really depends. Do you want to get results from what you've learned today slowly or quickly, right? I can tell you this. Going it alone is the slow and hard way, all right? Because the reality is, listen, I have shared a lot of stuff with you today, a lot of great concepts, okay? And as you go forward and you try to implement what you've learned, questions will inevitably come up. They always come up. And until you figure out how to customize what I've shared with you today into your unique business, You're going to keep tolerating those up and down money months, right? The roller coaster money months. Making just enough to cover your expenses, chasing after clients who can't or won't pay, not having the financial freedom, and not having the peace of mind to travel whenever and wherever you want. Maybe to put your kids through private school or take care of aging parents or buy that second home, right? You'll also keep feeling mentally, emotionally exhausted, drained basically by your business. Selling programs that don't really fulfill you, that are helping your clients get so-so or mediocre results instead of the extraordinary results that you know they're capable of, right? You'll keep feeling disconnected in your relationship because even when you make time for your man, you're not fully there. You can sense it. He can sense it. Or maybe you don't even have time. You haven't created any space in your life for a man. That will continue, right? That will continue if you go it the slow and hard way. You'll also continue undermining your confidence by spending time, speaking to people who give you excuses for why they can't buy from you, right? And yet they go and hire your competitor a few weeks later, right? So my question to you is, do you want to go the slow and hard way, or would you prefer the fast and easy way? The fast and easy way is to book a free breakthrough session with me, right? Because I will actually help you get the peace of mind because I'll show you how to customize what you learn, right? Now, before you apply for this session, you should know that I only have a limited number available, all right? And they're only for ambitious coaches, mentors, healers, and transformation leaders who are done playing small. That is critical, okay? If you're too afraid, if you're too afraid to play a bigger game, if you're too afraid to step in your higher consciousness, and trust me, I get that it's scary, but you're going to have to do it afraid, right? And I will have your back. But you've got to be willing, because if you're not, listen, us having a conversation won't change anything because you won't go out there and get the results, right? And you also have to be serious about unapologetically owning your value so that you can make more than enough with ease. All right? Now, this is not for you if you are just getting started, right? Or if you have no source of income and you're not 110% committed to your own success. I know who I work best with, and I really work best with women who have been in business for some time, and you're frustrated with where you are because you know you can be doing better, right? Those are the kind of women that I have the most fun with and I can get the best results for, all right? So if you qualify for this session, you're going to walk away with the empowerment to embody your higher consciousness. This is powerful in and of itself, okay? You're also going to get a customized plan to collapse your monthly income into a week or a sale, right? And last but not least, you're going to walk away with an awareness of the shifts you need to make in your positioning so you can attract and convert qualified prospects faster and easier. So when you're ready, go to DesireeStafford.com/session to get yourself signed up. Because here's the deal. We've spent just over an hour here together. And I know that you would not have invested this time with me today if you weren't ready to get better results now, right? Okay. So just go ahead and book a call, right? Let me help you get to where you want to be. Let me help you get there. All right, because you and I both know that if something doesn't change in the next 3, in the next 6, in the next 12 months from now, you're either going to lose your passion for your business, you'll fail, like your business will literally fail, or you'll destroy your relationships, right? Because the path that you are on right now is not sustainable. It's not. If it was sustainable, you wouldn't be here today, right? So the question really becomes, when will you let me help you? Is it going to be now, or is it going to be after things get much worse, right? So book a call. And if you're sitting here thinking that you're not sure, or that you want to think about it, right? Analysis paralysis. Well, I want to think about it, right? I want you to think about the last time you had an intuitive knowing to get support, but you didn't act. What was the result of that? What was the result? Right? Think about that and you'll know what to do. Go ahead and book a call. I promise you will thank me for it later. All right? It has been my absolute pleasure to be here with you today. And until we speak again, I hope you're up to big, bold things in your life and in your business. Take care.